Today we're going to go over my top 5 favorite cars in GTA Online to drive right now. Starting off with the brand new Karin S95. I've been asking for a Scion FRS, a Toyota 86, or a Subaru BRZ for the longest time. So it's great to finally have the ability to have one of these cars in GTA Online. I love that. And then obviously as a bigger bonus, it's modifiable with HSW upgrades, which is great because it makes it super fast and you can beat practically anybody in a drag race. But if you use this car in actual races, make sure you know what you're doing because you're going to overshoot a lot of different stuff. You guys know slow cars sometimes can't make jumps. But then once you get up to a very, very, very fast car, they're going to overshoot a lot of the landing spots from those jumps, which I did a lot. Sometimes I was hitting signs, sometimes I was hitting the top of these tubes, so make sure you correct it if you are doing races. But other than that, the car is flawless. I love this thing, and I do love how it has a decent amount of upgrades. I do wish we could customize it just a little bit more like a Benny's vehicle, but honestly, I really, really like the way the car looks, I like the way the car drives, and I think Rockstar did an outstanding job on making this vehicle in GTA 5, and I absolutely love driving it around. Next up has to be the Elegy Retro Custom. I've loved this car since it was released, and almost every time I play GTA 5, I'm using this car. It may not have the best performance in the sports category, but the reason I love it is literally because it's a Benny's vehicle, and the amount of stuff you could do to it is insane. I believe I have about 7 of these cars spread across all my garages currently in GTA Online, and they all look completely different because you can customize them so differently at Benny's, which I love. And then you go and upgrade a regular car and you're like, wow, this car has no customizations, because you're used to customizing Benny's vehicles. I honestly think every vehicle in GTA Online should be a Benny's vehicle, because we could do so much things to those cars, but then you take a look at even some of the new cars we got with Expanded and Enhanced, and I mean, yeah, they have some customizations, but compared to Benny's vehicles and even the LS Tuner vehicles, it's really not too much. Anyways, back on topic with the Elegy Retro, another thing I love about it is its exhaust system. Out of all the cars in GTA Online, I think this car is one of the best sounding cars in the game. I have to admit, most of the cars in GTA 5 don't sound all that great. Like, their engine sounds are pretty terrible. But then there's a few cars which really just sound beautiful. And I'll link some videos down below in the description to some of the best sounding cars in GTA Online, but the LG Retro Custom sounds amazing. When you start revving this thing up, it's like music to your ears. It's outstanding. Obviously, it could sound better, but compared to what we have in GTA 5, this thing is amazing. If I didn't mention it already, I just think the car is beautiful, which is obviously another reason why I love driving this thing in GTA 5. Next up definitely has to be the Buffalo STX. When the Dominator GTX came out and the Gauntlet Hellfire came out, we all thought the next update we would receive the Buffalo STX. But we didn't. We waited a few more updates and we still didn't get it, and then Rockstar finally released it into GTA Online, and everybody was super happy. It's hands down one of the most popular cars from the Contract DLC update, plus as an added bonus, it looks beautiful. I'm actually really glad they didn't release it back when the Gauntlet Hellfire came out or when the Dominator GTX came out, because if they did, it would look completely different. How Rockstar started to design cars in GTA Online has changed drastically over the last couple of years, and they look way better now compared to how they did a couple of years back. So I'm really happy they did that, because now we have a beautiful car in GTA 5. Plus, it has a Money Tech, which means you can put a missile lock-on jammer on it, which obviously helps. But my favorite thing has to be that remote control unit. The fact that you can remotely drive your cars is amazing. If you guys have never done it, I would highly recommend it because it's honestly really, really cool. The only thing I would ever hope for is if they were to add that to a motorcycle, because that would just be so freaking awesome. I would love to use that in GTA 5. But the STX is an outstanding vehicle, and I honestly think it's one of the most overpowered muscle cars in the game as well. If you use this thing in a muscle car race, you're going to destroy. This thing has a pretty decent top speed. It handles really well, its acceleration isn't bad at all. Altogether, it's a pretty great vehicle, and I honestly love driving this thing around in GTA 5. Next up is going to be the Torador. Now, I've loved this vehicle ever since it came out, and in terms of practicality and actually using this vehicle to make money and do missions and stuff like that in GTA 5, this vehicle just knocks out any other vehicle in its class out of the water. Comparing it to the Stromberg, before the Stromberg was amazing. It's a car you could drive on land and then turn into a submarine and go through the water. But then they released this thing, and this thing has a boost on it, which means that you guys get a little boost while driving through water. You can go 2 times faster than the Stromberg can while underwater, which makes a massive difference. The Stromberg hits speeds of like 30 miles per hour, which if you guys didn't realize is very, very slow. This thing reaches speeds of 60 miles per hour underwater, and it can honestly hold up those speeds because the boost recharges so quickly, which is why I love using this thing. And there used to be a glitch back in the day where if you were in the submarine mode and you used the boost while aiming straight up in the air, you would just get an infinite boost forever, and you could just keep on going. I remember I did that for like 30 minutes, and I was just flying straight up into the air. It took me like 3 minutes to actually fall all the way back down to the ground, which was kind of crazy, and I think it might still work now, but it's just really, really hard to hit it properly. So I'm going to try that in a little bit and see if it still works. But I honestly love the vehicle, and like I said, it's really useful, especially if you need to go anywhere underwater. This is the vehicle you want to use. Because of that boost, you're able to do things 2 times faster than you would be able to in a Stromberg, and comparing it to the submarines that we have in GTA 5, this thing is just 100 times better than those. Plus, it's honestly a pretty nice looking car, it's got some cool liveries, and it's also very fast and can shoot missiles and has machine guns. It's a pretty amazing vehicle. Just before we jump into the final vehicle, let's take a look at this video's sponsor. If you love playing GTA Online, but you've been getting somewhat bored of it recently, why not check out Grand RP? They are one of the most popular RP servers out right now, with almost 10,000 players active across all their servers. They also have a huge selection of cars, over 350 in total, and new ones being added almost every single month. Unlike in GTA 5, you can join a bunch of different types of organizations in Grand RP, like 5 different types of gangs, the police, the government, or even work at a hospital. If you guys want to play, click the link down below in the description, click start playing, choose your server, fill in the information, and click register, then download the launcher and start playing GTA 5 in a way you've never experienced before. Next up is the Oppressor Mark 1. This has to be hands down one of my favorite vehicles of all time in GTA Online. I use this thing consistently. Now, I never use the Oppressors for griefing. All I usually do is make money with them, but since the release of the Oppressor Mark 2, I never use the Oppressor Mark 1 for making money. Anytime I get bored or just want to have some fun, I pull this thing out and do some awesome tricks. About 40% of the time, I usually just fly around aimlessly and just have fun doing cool tricks. But the other 60% of the time, I usually set a challenge for myself to try and land somewhere and only use the rocket boost like 4 or 5 times. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's really hard, but every time it's always a lot of fun. Because like I said, this vehicle is just one of the most fun vehicles in the game in my opinion, and that makes it one of my favorite vehicles in the game because I use it all the time just for doing tricks and having fun. So if you guys never purchased this vehicle, I would highly recommend it. And of course, if you want something to make money with, the Oppressor Mark II is obviously your best bet. Just don't be a griefer on it, because then everybody's going to hate you. But anyways, that is pretty much going to wrap the video up for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you went on to enjoy it. Let me know down below in the comment section, what are your favorite vehicles in GTA Online right now? I'm very curious to see what you guys like to drive around. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you went on to enjoy it, and I will catch you guys in the next video.